Well, I got these off the car boot sale. I told you in my previous video, they cost me absolutely virtually nothing. And I'm going to use 3 of them to make a little plant pot holder and put some plants in for my mum, because my mum's coming to live here soon. So it's a little welcome gift for her. I've got myself some ply here, and I'm going to make a little box for them to go in as well. So all I'm doing here is marking off how wide I want this to be. I want them about that far apart from each other, so then I can just mark that off there as well. And then I can cut that bit out. So now I've got that there, all I'm going to do is mark around these bits so I know where the pots are going to go. I'm all doing this by eye. There's a surprise, eh? So there we go, that's where the pots are going to go. But I want them to drop into this a little bit to keep them nice and sturdy in there. So all I'm doing now is drawing around my tape, because that, oh look at that, that's lovely and central, isn't it? Let's try that again. Right, I'm going to change my mind on that, because I can't obviously get that central. I am going to mark this up, because if not, I think it's going to look like an absolute fright. So if I get them all, so they're 2 centimetres from there, and there's 2 centimetres from there, bring that in a little bit. So they're the ones I'm going to cut out. From there it is 3 centimetres. If I mark a 3 centimetre line there, put that there like that, 2 centimetres. There we go. And then I can do the same and measure out the middle one. So 2 centimetres down is to there, to be there. See if they're equal distance apart. 3 centimetres, 4. Let's move this over a little bit. There we go. So that's got to come out, that's got to come out, and that's got to come out, which is going to be easier said than done, because I don't have one of those bits that cuts a circle of that size. So I'm going to attempt this with my jigsaw. So that's going to be wiggly woggly all over the place, as we know. It'd be handy if I had one of these that size, and then I could just cut that through there. I can't, so I'm going to cut a hole first for my jigsaw to go in. So now I need to cut those 2 out as well. I've planned that under the table to make it easier to saw. So I've got my 2 bits cut out now, which are going to be the sides. And now all I need to do is put some glue on there. Get that bit lined up there. And now I'm going to pop some tacks in it. Okay, so they're in there. And now I'm going to do exactly the same thing with this side as well. So there we go. They've been in there now. I don't think I quite needed it to be as high as that. I might cut those off a bit more. So I've cut those bits and they're attached. And now I've also cut the bits to go on the end, and I'm going to glue and tack those in exactly the same way. So what I'm going to do now is, before I sand it down, what I'm going to give it is a quick fill with some wood filler, because I am no joiner, as you know. So my edges and that aren't as neat as they could be. So I've countersunk my holes that I did with the nails, and now I'm just popping some wood filler in this to get rid of those. And then anywhere I feel there's a gap or anything, I can then put some wood filler in, and that way it isn't going to look so bodged when I come to paint it. Thank you for Craftsy for sponsoring this video. And Craftsy is an online community of creative and like-minded makers like you and me, where members can find so much inspiration and advance their skills and discover their new favourite hobby, or develop a hobby that they've already started. Craftsy is an online resource for all things creative. They've got over 2,000 classes, so there's going to be something for everyone in 20 different creative categories. And as you know, I've been learning how to knit, and I've been using their knitting classes. I've also been learning how to paint, and their painting classes are amazing. And there's baking and cake decorations and cooking. So easy to learn from. The great thing is, Craftsy is always creating new classes to keep you coming back for more and help you stay inspired. And they teach through instructional videos, and you can connect with fellow makers and other DIY and crafty lovers to ask questions, share ideas, and stay inspired. For the first 1,000 people to click on the link in the description below, you will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for only $1.49. Can you believe that? This offer is valid for new members only. Be sure to join and become part of this brilliant community and become a member. I'm going to have it out perhaps the front door of my mum's when she moves in, which is only going to be in a few weeks' time. Well, this is all lovely and dry now, and all I need to do is go around and give it a good sand. That way I can get rid of any of those marks. I'm also going to round these corners off a little bit as well with the sander, like that. And this don't take long to sand. I'll go down to quite a fine grit, so it's got a nice finish. See, look, they've rounded off really well, and so have they. I've finished sanding all that off, and then I can paint it and decorate the pots. Well, I've sanded all this down now, and it's lovely and smooth, and it's ready to paint. I'm going to spray paint it using dazzling white, and then the pots I'm going to paint green. So if you're going to spray in the house, unfortunately I've got to, it's absolutely chucking it down today. Make sure you're working in a very well ventilated area. Put on a mask, and also have some ventilation if possible. So I've got my extractor on, I've got my mask on, and what I'm going to do is quick swipes like this. And I'll probably do 3 or 4 coats of this to build it up. And then I'm going to do exactly the same thing with these as well. But I'm going to spray them green. This is all nice and dry now, so I can start putting the finishing touches off on it. I think that's come out really well. And like I said, I didn't do a very good job of cutting those out nice and neat. So what I'm going to do is put some of this around each of the edges. And this is just the stuff that you can get that you put on glass windows. I've used it in other projects before. Fairly cheap. It's quite a cheap form of doing edging, and it sticks really, really well. Now I'm going to heat this up a little bit using my hairdryer, because that'll allow it to bend a little bit easier as well. So now it'll bend much easier when I go to stick it on, and it'll stay on rather than trying to flick back on itself. And that'll neaten up those edges really well, so you actually can't see that I did such a terrible job on cutting them out. So all you need to do to stick this on is remove your sticky back off here, and it is quite sticky as well, so it will stay on there really well. And then place this down onto it, start bending this round. So that does really neaten that up much nicer. Okay, and then I just need to take the protective cover off of this. And then where I've stuck it together there, where I've got the joint, I shall put a little bit of super glue and glue that in and finish off all the rest. And I think that does neaten it up much nicer. So that's all done. What I'm going to do is put the final bit on, which says, "Welcome to your new home." And it's got a little picture of a dog and a little picture of a house, because Mum's bringing her dog with her as well. And let's pop that on. I cut this out using my Cricut. And now it's all finished. I put some plants in it that we've grown from cuttings. Little Christmas plant that's just starting to bud up. So by the time Mum moves in, that should have little flowers on it. And some succulents. We've grown them all. I would imagine this has cost me, but other than my time, less than £2 to make. A little bit of spray paint, scrap wood that I got left over from other projects. I picked these up at a car boot sale, and I love it. I think it's come out really nice. Let me know in the comments what you think. Would you like to receive something like this on your windowsill if you moved into your new home? Check out the other upcycle that I did recently as well. That's coming up now. If you love upcycling and want new ideas, boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.